Hello, everybody. First of all, I wanted to tell you that I'm really sorry that I couldn't attend to Rio today with you, and I will be more than happy to pursue the discussion after the presentations. My name is Maylis Derousseaux. I'm from Marseille, and I am a postdoc. My work is essentially to focus on soil protection. I'm an environmental lawyer or researcher. So today I wanted to talk to you about the IPBES assessment on land degradation and restoration and what outcomes could come out from this assessment to improve the protection of soils. First of all, a preliminary word about the IPBES. The acronym means Intergovernmental Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services. It's an international science policy platform, the goal of which is to bring independent scientific assessments of biodiversity and ecosystem services into the Convention on Biological Diversity process. Currently, there are 4 regional assessments and 2 thematic assessments. The first one, I'm sure you've heard of it, it's about pollinators, pollination and food production, and it was released in February 2016. The second thematic assessment is about land degradation and restoration, and it's still in process. It's expected for 2018, so a lot of work to be done yet. To answer the question of the IUCN Congress, what would be the main environmental challenge for my presentation? Well, in my case, it would be the protection of soils because the challenge is to improve the protection of soil that is truly lacking of. At national and international levels, soils are rarely considered as a natural media by the law. There is a lack of a soil protection status. 8 kinds of threats have been identified by the European Commission in 2002, and they are still not being addressed. These are erosion, organic matter decline, contamination, salinization, compaction, soil biodiversity loss, flooding, landslides, and flooding. So to improve this protection, what would be the key legal issue to answer the second question? Well, the first one would be to create an international status for soil as a natural media, and not only as an available resource. It would change the perception of soil at the international level. On that, the work of the IUCN is already amazing. I'm referring to the guide written by Ben Bauer and Jan Hanam more than 10 years ago. And that work was pursued by the writing of a soil protocol that could have been adopted at Rio Plus 20 conference in 2012. It would have been under the authority of the UNCCD, and it would have recognized that soil is a security matter at the international level. Unfortunately, this soil protocol that is ready is not about to be adopted. The second key legal issue is to create an ecological governance for soil at local levels, and including transboundary territories, because what we observe as obstacles to improve the soil protection is mostly boundaries. Sovereignty principle, subsidiarity principle for the European Union, for example, and at the local level, property rights. So what legal mechanisms would be necessary to address these issues? Well, we can say that the lack of knowledge on a natural element stops its recognition by environmental law. So increasing the knowledge on soils would definitely bring new tools to enforce international and local protection, which is why the IPBES assessment on land degradation and restoration could have a great impact on that lack of knowledge. The idea here would be to change the perceptions of policymakers, because the IPBES assessment has a chapter 2 which I'm part of. I'm co-author as a young fellow in chapter 2. It's about concepts and perceptions on land degradation and restoration. And the idea is to say that perceptions lead to concepts, and these concepts then lead to practices that have an impact. So if you influence the perception, then you change the concept, and then you can minimize the impacts on land degradation and increase the mechanisms on land restoration. And current legal concepts on soil are not quite relevant because the lack of information on soil constrains the perception of scarcity or vulnerability of soils. So what would be the role of the IPBES in that? I'm aware it's on land degradation and not directly on soils, but if you read the scoping document, soils are almost everywhere in the scoping document. Most of all, indigenous and local knowledge are included in the assessment. So this means that sustainable land management practices could be listed, and that grey literature, the so-called grey literature, and not only peer-review articles, will be included in this gathering of knowledge. And for what I'm from, and then this is where we are extremely concerned and included in this IPBES process, is that social sciences and lawyers are part of it. So it means that the legal doctrine will be taken into consideration with our concepts, with our perceptions. So this IPBES assessment on land degradation and restoration brings two hopes. One is that there would be key messages for policymakers that will contain legal tools. And the second hope is that with this assessment, we could bring an evolution, to perceptions and then concepts, of course. And for example, I'm just thinking of one concept that could be included in legal instruments, legal tools at local or national or international levels. It would be soil quality or soil security. That would be two concepts. Why soil quality, for instance? Because we already know the concept of water quality, air quality, so why not soil quality? Or why not soil security too? And it's a bit quick, but I'm here for the question, and I listen to the discussion, and I hope this will bring really new outcomes because it's just the beginning. There are 2 more years for this assessment, and I'll be happy to share my experience. Thank you.